There is such a creature in the world. They were discovered by a few people, but it has not been confirmed to exist. We refer to this group of creatures as unidentified mysterious animal. Unidentified organism referred to as Yuma.
Hello and welcome to the Yuma video series. In myths and legends around the world, there is no shortage of images of behemoths. These creatures are not just symbols of hell culture. It also reflects human reverence for unknown forces. In the hinterland of North Africa, between the ancient rocks of the Bolan River, there is also such a terrifying giant creature, the snake in South African mythology and folklore. Hruzlon. The name Hruzlon. It literally translates to big snake in Afrikaans. As the name suggests, he is usually described as a giant serpentine. The body length is between 12 and 15 meters. Straight and bigger. Richard lives in the northwest of the Northern Cape, in the Desert of Thought, a cave species called the Miracle Cave or the Bottomless Pit. Legend has it that it was a mine full of treasure, filled with spilled diamonds, will flow with the river into the sea. There are two possible interpretations of the term elephant tongue. One is to describe the body shape of Hruzlon, big enough to swallow an elephant, is a real monster. Another says he has the head of an elephant and the body of a snake. This is his most popular image at the moment. A giant elephant-headed snake. Legend has it that at the beginning of creation, the gods unwittingly created such a bizarre species. But they are too powerful, cunning and dangerous. The gods soon realized their mistake. They tried to split it into two separate species. Then elephants and snakes were formed, and one of them, Hruzlon, escaped the power, hidden in the depths of the Cave of Miracles and survived. Became a later legend. As early as the 1st century BC, Greek historian, the history of Diaries is mentioned in the book. 3rd century BC, ancient Egypt during the reign of Ptolemy II. I really like hunting elephants and reward those who hunt strong animals. So some hunters decided to take the risk to hunt the largest snake. They found a large snake of 30 species. Rest in a puddle. Every time an animal walks in to drink water, he will suddenly pick up the foot brake and eat it. The cubitus teeth here is a unit of length for bone. Egypt generally refers to the distance from the elbow to the end of the middle finger. Here, calculated by the universal shaft ruler after the previous dynastic period, 30 axes is approximately 15.7 meters. The hunters tried to catch him with ropes, but was soon taken aback by his appearance. The sound of a big snake passing through the bushes. It was unstoppable fear. The bait people threw didn't attract him. Instead of provoking it, he turned around, grabbed the nearest person and devoured it. The second man was entangled with him and strangled to death. Also eaten. People were terrified and ran away. But for the king's reward, they still bit the bullet and touched it back. Later they took advantage of net boats and confined spaces. Capture the serpent, hand it over to Ptolemy too. The latter soon tamed the snake with hunger and show it to everyone. This is how the Ethiopians describe snakes. These snakes are so big. They don't just eat beef and eat a whole bull and other animals of the same size. They even attack elephants. They wrap around the elephant's legs to stop it from moving, then climb over the eraser. Put your head into the eyes of your prey. The elephant was stabbed blind and fell to the ground. The snake takes advantage of the opportunity. Devour it. In 1838, Scottish travelers James Edward, Alex, Jashanda's exploration of African inland art. By the time they passed through the Nama Hurdle area, a large number of hares were found near the Orange River, and antelopes occasionally. You can also see a giant snake. Traces left in the sand, a little over a foot wide. Local residents say the length of the snake's axis when it bounced, equivalent to the wheels of a carriage. And when this snake appeared in the mouth of the Orange River, it heralds a season of closed rains. This doesn't need to spread like we mentioned before. The rain snake culture in China. Microacacia. George William Stowe was a famous British geologist in the 19th century. He has spent a lot of time in South Africa studying local rocks, painting and culture, conduct research. His last book, The Aboriginal Race of South Africa, it was published in 1905 after his death. There's a piece in the book about technology that's not uncommon in East Africa. The Manchu are said to have been in the time of their ancestors. Many animals once lived on this land. Today they are all extinct. Some of them have been described as giant monsters, larger than an elephant or a horse. Some were giant snakes. Such creatures in this age of dialogue, no one has seen. Few people have heard of it. About this, their guide pointed to them in the caves of Rockwood Canyon after Oran. Black reptile mural photographed. Call this huge beast. It was discovered a long time ago. They were huge, powerful, capable of attacking and crushing an adult bison. Over 20 feet long, or even close to 30 feet long. Serpent in the cave paintings of Brockfontein, known as Kubain. This is also a giant of the former size. He lives in water, sometimes lurking in the reeds by the water. This is what we were before. In Dingo's moment. The horned snake I saw. In 1920, British geologist Frederick Cornell, in his memoirs, The Charm of Exploration in the Suicide Note, they were searching for copper. Had a hard day. It's hard to find a water source. And there is a sheltered place to camp and rest. Their Hoddentis guide, Yitzhak, he advised them to go further and obliquely express. In the middle of the river directly opposite there is a large rock. The local Hottentots believe that's Hruzlon's lair. So the vicinity of humans. It's not safe for horses. Cornell said in the article that many well-known Hottentots and white people have claimed seen this big snake. I found crawling marks left by him. It's about 1.5 feet across. It is said that he would attack livestock on the riverbank. The locals were very afraid of him and gave this steed a unique name. This is G-Man. In the second half of the tree, Lacras, their guide. They also told the team about a special. A serpent with a goat's head will devour humans. Every Richard, The Hottentots of Sid believe in his existence. Legend has it that he can send out a jet of air, knock down those outside of mathematics. But he and G-Man in the river are two completely different existences. After Cornell's book was published, soon attracted the attention of South African adventurer Han Schouwer's concern. The latter, in his 1937 book Out of Africa Art, recorded when he was around 10 years old. Look near the river Urenzi in northern Arrival. To the story of Hruzlon. That afternoon, he was swimming in the river with some friends. Suddenly I saw a huge black snake up the river, neck sticking out of the water. He appears in the center of the river. The children were unsure whether he had limbs or not. So, I don't know how he swims. They dressed in a hurry and ran back. Tell your parents. Child's father and neighbor wolf grabbed a shotgun and went after it. Far, you can see the snake swimming against the current. But they're not there yet. He vanished into the dense rock. In 1945, South African journalist Lawrence Green, in his writings, The Land of Dreams mentioned in art. Legend has it that the Miracle Cave or the bottomless pit is rich in diamonds. To get there you need a Hotten guide. But the vast majority of locals are unwilling to go, because they believed it was the winter snow of Hruzlon, a giant snake that lives in the river of Orland. His eye socket is set with huge diamonds. Everyone who sees him will be killed. The influence of evil forces. It is said that this cave is connected to the sea 40 miles away. If you stand outside the cave, a low roar can be heard, like waves crashing against the rocks. The author indicates that a friend of his who does exploration work with a winch and a rope into a small part of the miracle. The latter describes, it was pitch black, and the temperature is very high, when he smelled sulfur in the air. It didn't go down, but he can already see the bottomless tunnel. A white cloud eyewitness said, this snake is 40 feet long. Traces of his swimming on the river bank. It's 3 feet wide. With the accumulation of travel and knowledge, by 1948, another book by Lawrence Green. Go to the end of the river in a book. Hruzlon was mentioned again. Due to the length of the article, now I'm going to put it in the original form of the text. Summarize some key content and eyewitness reports. Share with everyone. Along the Orange River, wherever you go, you can hear the legend of the serpent. I have amassed a wealth of evidence from reliable sources. Believe in him is more than just legend and imagination. The first curator of the Cape Town Archives, Reverend Leppert, mentioned he grew up on the riverbank. Locals believe anyone who sees a serpent will be killed. Mysterious power influence. Good luck to those who are in awe. Otherwise, you will suffer from disease or death. The serpent can read people's minds and lure them into the water. His breath can knock down anyone outside the crowd. Well, one time, a local took him to a reed bush. It is said that the serpent once rested there. One can clearly see a large grove of reeds, squashed by something huge. However, Lebrun believes that those marks were probably made by elephants. A grocer named Junior said, 1899, he saw this snake when he was emotionally intelligent in the Apington area. He describes how the boat had just been filled with goats. It's about 10 horses from the bank. Suddenly, a huge tongue emerged from the river. His 2 large eyes are 7 to 8 inches wide. He's 8 to 10 feet above the water. Only about 1/4 of its body length. His head only popped out for a moment. Dived back into the water. The serpent did not swim like a ship. It just disappears. That was the last time Kinnear saw him. Boatmen and natives with goats. They were screaming. The most accurate description of the serpent. Perhaps from Frederick Cornell. That is, the British scholars mentioned above. In 1910, he and 2 colleagues, downstream of Ockerbus Falls, camping at about 20 miles. Poland at that time. The water in Jew is very strong. A day in communication with Americans. Camel swims in relatively calm waters. All of a sudden, his terrified screamers rushed back to the camp. He expressed that a huge wave just came out of him. A huge snake emerged from the water with its mouth open. Jump up to 12 feet out of the water. His body is as thick as a wine barrel. This snake killed a calf grazing by the water, taken into the water and disappeared. Cornell confirms the disappearance of the calf. The accompanying Houghton people said he had seen the serpent many times. Shot him. But it turns out he's immune to bullets. A prospector named Hayes told Lawrence. He worked with the Guinness River in 1929. Orange River confluence, a few miles east of Sundar Ferry. Saw that big snake. The sighting at the time was about 300 yards away. But the guides Hottentots, they all risked their lives to escape from there. This is one near the mouth of the river after Oran. Informed Landscape also provided Lawrence with a similar time. But because of the dictation of this landscape, report paraphrased for the 2nd and 3rd tracks. So I won't list them here. This is 1969. American writer John Mancheap White's The Land Created by the Wrath of God is Evil. Bushman said that Hruzlon was a serpent. His body is wrapped in gold and precious stones. Although he is older than the world, but he will always safeguard those treasures. Mysterious zoologist Bernard Hugh Wilmans. Published in 1978. The Last African Dragon in Art. It enumerates the events that took place in the Allen River Basin giant snake creature sighting report, and mainly describes happened in eastern South Africa, time near Var Dam. Record. In 1960, the south bank of the dam, the Reneks of Oran Verd and there. The 2 children were weighed near the dam. Saw 2 swimming monsters. At that time Rennek first noticed a huge strange object moving through water. He hastened to call his wife and children. Here's another object like this, suddenly crossing the water at breakneck speed. They estimate the length of this animal reaches 200 feet. That's about 60 meters. But the width is only 1.2 meters. 2 animals seem to be playing. Finally dive to the bottom. Disappear. 1963. The perimeter of the dam includes multiple large snake and hen incidents. Local police officer Rocher said, "I have seen that animal 3 times. Some residents also said they had tried to shoot them, but missed. Due to my hands, this part of the documentation is currently missing. So, I can't share a more detailed time description with you." Overall, the eyewitness report on Hruzlon, not as clear-cut as other UMAs. There are indeed many people who say that in the Aeolian River Basin, I have seen the figure of a giant snake. But few people would use the name Grootslang to call this creature. Currently, the most popular speculation in derivative zoology is that Hruzlon is actually it's that people are mistaken about some known Sherik, plus eyewitness visual errors and exaggeration. Let the legend of the serpent last forever. And the most suspicious of them all. That's what we've mentioned many times before. African wild horse, especially Central African May, as currently known in Africa. The largest snake, Central African May, already at the top of proficiency. From aquatic fish to large fish. From domestic animals to primate monkeys. Even bald to save crocodiles. Big cat pups. And some big cat adults and so on. Can be its food. Except for humans, they seem to have lost their predators. Average body difference of adult Central African mustangs, usually between 3 to 4 meters. A few older individuals can reach 4.8 meters. Claude Martin's play in rainforest art. Recorded in Bingwell, Côte d'Ivoire. I also found one. Giant individuals with a body length of 9.96 meters. British explorer Mary Kingsley's travels in West African art. There is a record. Reports of individuals over 12 meters. Although these records are unconfirmed. But it already fits the part of Hruzlon. Reporting standards, plus the Orange River Basin. Rich ecological environment. Personally, I think it's very likely that there is a bigger body. The older Yuma Pavilion. So let's go back to Hruzlon's description. So far, I didn't find it together. A report describing the snake as having elephant characteristics. Everyone sees a snake. So, what is the origin of the popular iconography myth? According to the information I found, I can tell you very clearly. Before the 21st century, there is no such statement. The explanation given by the encyclopedia is that this image comes from the American writer Carol Ross. Giant published in 2001. Monsters and Dragons. The description of Hruzlon in the book. Here's what it says. Hruzlon. It's West African folklore and religion. The name of a monster. According to European travelers to Congo, this monster is huge. Like an elephant, tail like a snake. He inhabits caves and swamps off the coast of South Africa. Similar to Mokrambianbe and Iris. The latter, also a behemoth in African folklore. I rummaged through the references in the text. Bibliographic information. We didn't find anything that looked like stealing a snake. If you have to say, just Joey. Scargreaves illustrations of animals in a new language. There is a description of Capricorn in the memory book. Describe it as a wonderful monster. appear with a variety of different images. It also contains the characteristics of many animals. Among them are snakes and elephants. This is what Richard Barber wrote in 1971. Fantastic Animal Dictionary. In art, under the word makram, classify Hruzlon as one of the same. So I think this myth, probably the result of people co-creating. A large snake with an ordinary appearance, and a snake with a similar head. Which is more noticeable? Needless to say, the result. Plus, this image was later referenced in some animations. And in the game, it spreads much faster. It also deepened people's awareness of Hruzlon. Impression of a line. Of course, the most important factor. Or is it because the information is being transmitted? There are subtle differences in your copying process. If the wording is inappropriate, changes in the expression result. And that leads to misunderstandings. Form the internet myth of phase projection. Certainly, these are just my guesses. Hruzlon. Maybe it was just the people of that era. In the face of the unknown 15. Collective sound? It is said to be the distraction of the legend itself. In this part of Africa, the aftertaste is obvious, including what we talked about before. Hawk. The same is true of Uncanny Amba under the flutter. These huge, frightening creature. On the one hand, it has become an unsolved mystery that plagues us. On the one hand, it is also incarnated into myths and legends, influencing the cultural beliefs within. Okay, the answer to the Hruzlon puzzle. Leave time to answer. I hope that one day in the future, we will be guided by science. Uncover his true face. The last sentence. The unknown is always greater than the known. That's the allure of ambiguity. This video is here. Thanks for watching.